It's funny, Mike, just to kind of give you a little inside baseball here.
Okay.
When Will and I were prepping for the show, we were taking some notes and adding some questions to this list, and Will's like, well, you're going to add some more stuff, right? Because we really didn't have a lot of stuff down. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I've known Mike for 20 years, and we've spent a ton of time together doing various things, but there are really very few occasions that you and I have just sat down and played video games together. We've had a couple of game nights here and there.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
But it's kind of bizarre because our friendship has been primarily based around other things.
Oh, totally.
It's just so weird.
Video games is kind of like a subcategory, but
totally.
It's definitely it hasn't been the main. That wasn't what brought us together.
Right. So it's just very fascinating because like with interviews with like Vic and Damien, like
that's a whole nother right.
Our friendships were founded on video games.
Totally. You guys have like epic stories of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny, Drew. I just kind of had imagined you like taking your hands to the keyboard, sort of Mr. Smithers like, and being like, I don't know what to add.
It's pretty accurate, man. I'm like I'm sitting there and I'm like wiggling my fingers over the keys, typing, and I'm like,
shit.
Oh, shit. I have made a terrible mistake.
Mike, we're canceling. Dude, you're out.
Yeah, we can't do this.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to Will and Drew's Gaming Retrospective. You're listening to episode 77, which is part 2 of our interview with Mike Tubiak. We're continuing his discussion of the PlayStation with this episode, as well as diving into what came next. Later on down the line, you'll hear us talking about the 3DO, the Sega Dreamcast, and some other systems. It's a great conversation, and I had a blast sitting down with Will and introducing him to one of my closest friends and his gaming career. Be sure to check out Mike's podcast. He has a podcast called Living Free with RP. It's a podcast about people with the degenerative eye disease retinitis pigmentosa and how they get through daily life. It's a great listen, and I highly recommend checking it out. Of course, you can find us on the web at www.wdgrpodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WDGRPodcast. And swing on by our Discord room and say hello, where you can interact with Will, myself, and of course our guest Mike. Ask him all kinds of questions and say hi. We'd love to have you there. Hope you guys enjoy part 2 of our interview with Mike Tubiak. Thank you. So what else, on the PlayStation, like really grabbed you, man? Because like I feel like
I remember the demo discs a lot.
The demo discs are great.
That's where my love for what was it? Is this year Need for Speed?
Tell me about that, because I know you were a big fan of those games.
Oh yeah, we're a big fan of that series. Me and my friend Bill Boyd, we were huge fans of that. And I played it on the demo. I remember just being like, "Oh my god, this game! Have you played this?" And I think it came over, maybe whatever. But we started playing that, and then we'd go on to the next game. We used to go over each other's houses. We'd go over like another friend. House, and we play over there, and it was just like we had even up to like 10 years ago or whatever, we had like a Need for Speed night where we found all the copies of every I found as many copies of Need for Speed games as I could find of different systems and stuff, and so it's definitely a series. We saw the movie that they made, so we just got we're so big into that, but I think for that system, though, for me, the biggest moment, I think, besides, beating Bo in NHL, I would say my fondest memory was getting Test Drive 4 for Christmas. And I remember, like, calling Bill, like, after, because Christmas, for me, was, like, it was usually pretty quick in the morning. And then, we pretty much really didn't do anything, like, crazy after that. So I remember just calling, like, Bill and being like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's just like, nothing, because I don't think he did anything on Christmas Day. I think they did something maybe on a different day. I don't know what I can't remember exactly what it was, but he had nothing planned either. It was one of those things where like, hey, how about you come pick me up? And, I'll come over and I got Test Drive 4 and we can, we'll play video games. And I remember it being like the awesomest day because we played that. We played, I think we had like NBA Live, maybe 96 or 80, I think somewhere around there. I think that was when we had that one. And we just played all day. And then all of a sudden, I think one of our friends, EJ and John, they show up and they jumped in on us and we started creating like characters. And there was just like this long, epic, like just veg out on PlayStation.
That's
like
awesome.
All day. Just
what a time to be
care
alive.
in the world, and yeah, it was like, it was cool. Yeah, we all just
like,
had,
what is that now? Like, what is that? Like, it's something foreign.
Yeah, you can't even go over people's houses and play like split screen racing games anymore. They don't have a lot of games don't even support that anymore.
Yeah.
You have to play like if they say, oh, there's multiplayer, yeah, it means online. Like there's no like I can't play with my son like on a split screen racing game anymore because I don't have it. A lot of the new, like Wreckfest doesn't have a 2-player split screen mode, which that would have been awesome.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity,
but
especially for a family.
They have multiplayer, it's great, but I mean, but no split screen. It's like this, people still like to do that.
Yeah.
Like kids still do go to each other's houses, I'm sure. I hope, and they do play video games.
Well, I noticed, like, as you're talking about these PlayStation games, there seems to be a shift towards racing games. And as long as I've known you, you've always been really into cars,
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the really, granted, yeah, like, I played, Days of Thunder and all that stuff back, Nintendo days and stuff. And Genesis, I played a little bit of everything, because they were good, most of the fighting games and things like that, because that's what those,
right.
And sports games. But, I would say, when I got into the PlayStation was one more I really got into playing, like racing games and stuff.
What was it about that? Was it the realism or?
I think it probably was, yeah. Because who doesn't like Rad Racer? But when you can play something and you're like, oh my god, this looks like. At least back then. Now I look back and I'm like, wow, I don't even know how I played this game because I remember I played one. We tried playing one recently a few years ago, one of the old Need for Speeds, and I'm like, I can barely tell where the hell I'm going because the graphics are just so shitty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought this was great. Like, we thought this was great back then. Like, we're like, yeah, this was like the greatest thing. And it's just some of those games just didn't age too well. But yes, no, I would say, yeah, Need for Speeds. And then I remember I wasn't a big fan of Gran Turismo at first because it was just too realistic. And I was awful at it.
Yeah, it was hard.
And then and what's funny? I got better because my Charlie, my friend, he's he raced cars professionally, like amateurly, through Skip Barber and stuff like that. And he showed me how to play the newer Gran Turismos on like PlayStation 2, I think, and stuff like that. And I got good. So then I went back like a few when I was playing on PlayStation, playing Gran Turismo 5. I remember I was like, oh, I got. I still have a copy of Gran Turismo. I have my PlayStation, so I fired that up, and I'm like thinking I'm gonna just. No, sorry, I played on the PS3 because PS3 was still backwards compatible.
Right.
For,
okay. Gotcha.
PS1 games, so I popped that in, and I'm like, I'm awful. Like, even though I know what I'm doing now, like it's so touchy. I'm like, this game is like not good. Like I thought it was just me, but like no, it's like. It's not like the newer style games and how they're really much more like how a car should really behave. But no, I remember they were super touchy, like controls. And I was like, okay, it wasn't just me, and but I was better at them. I was probably better, playing it now than I was back when when it came out. But I remember I loved that game.
Yeah, those games have always been on the cutting edge of the the graphical standard for that time. It's.
That I said they made the Need for Speed look like a joke at that time.
Totally,
like wow, this looks like amazing. These cars look like the cars, and you're like,
and to have totally. I never really got into Gran Turismo or even Forza, but like I can recognize the amount of detail that goes into those games. To make those games as realistic as they are. They're very performance driven. From the car perspective, you have down to like tire pressure makes a difference. Yeah. It's absurd. And
a ton of stats.
Oh, the settings, all the
settings how much
change, camber adjustment.
Yeah, like those are words I don't even understand.
it's You know, like I said, like I at my height was probably Gran Turismo 5. Now I was really good, doing really good with Charlie and stuff because he was really working me over that a lot. We used to play that online, and that series is definitely ironically, it's not as high as it used to be now. Like now, there's so many other competitors now, and the competitors are better.
Xbox really took, I think, the lead on that type of a game with Forza. You know, because for
well, that Forza got good, but also for PlayStation, it's what's the other one that Charlie plays? He was playing before he got into because now he's into PC now, all that stuff. But I forgot which one. There's another one. There's another on PlayStation. There's another game that even he says it's just.
Is it a newer game, or are we still on? Drive Club.
No, it's a newer game. No, I love that game though. That's a good mix between like sim and arcade. Like it's good. That has a good vibe to it. I have that game. That's the game. Like we played that. Like and we really.
Is it
really like that one.
Project Cars?
That one. Thank you.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good game. Like he said that one's more realistic than Gran Turismo in terms of sim racing. He said there's no game that matches the rain effects and stuff like that. How like as it rains, water actually will pool up on the track.
Interesting.
And you know, he's like, so conditions on the track and stuff like that, Gran Turismo just doesn't match it.
It's crazy. It's crazy how like cutthroat certain genres can become. Mm-hmm. You know, you would think.
Yep. Especially for someone like him who raced for real. So it's like, you know, and the sim racing now is huge. You know, I mean, this is what, you know, I mean, geez, they have it now. You can watch it now because of COVID. You can watch NASCAR, you know, and iRacing. You can watch, you know, real drivers now.
Will, you got to see this guy's setup, man. It's crazy. He's got like a bucket racing chair, like an actual, like straight from a fucking race car in a frame with 3 monitors curving around him. He's got the wheel, he's got the shifter, he's got the pedals.
And now he's got a 4th monitor because now he's streaming.
4 monitors.
So he's got a 4th on the bottom. He has a 4th monitor on the bottom next to him so he can stream. Yeah. So because he's got a whole channel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like a lot of those games, especially the really advanced racers like Gran Turismo, they fall in line with like those like PC flight simulation games. Like it's the same sort of genre where like if you're going to play it, do it right and get the wheel and strap it to your desk and get the bucket chair and the 4 monitors. And I forget which game it was.
Yeah, you got to do it. Yeah.
There was one game that used, I think it was the PSP. You could hook it up like above the monitor and you could use it as like a rear view mirror.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was probably a Gran Turismo. Cool. I don't know which one, but that was definitely a thing.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like kind of perfect.
I'll have to run it by Charlie. I'm sure he knows. Yeah, I'll have to ask Charlie about that because he probably knows because he had a PSP. I remember back then when he
probably used it that way.
PSP as rear view mirror.
Yeah.
I'm working
just about to chime through. Like Google it.
Yeah, come on, Google, man.
This is what we do.
I guess it looks like they were talking about doing it for Gran Turismo 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Was it ever used at all though for any game? Pretty sure it was.
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. These are posts.
Well, at least the tech does exist.
I mean, like these are posts from like 2010.
The idea's up
so.
I think that makes sense though, because I think it was around that time period that something that it was being used.
Maybe it was on F1 racing. F1,
possibly. But yeah, I think Mike, you know, a lot of people gravitated towards games like Need for Speed and Midnight Club Racing and all that kind of shit because they were just easier to play, you know, and they were more fun.
Yeah, arcade. Yeah, exactly. I was an arcade back then. I was just definitely an arcade guy. Yeah, if I put on sim, it was like you know, people that tried playing like Gran Turismo, they hated it. If you were an arcade guy, you'd be like, nope, this sucks. Real. This game sucks. And it's not that the game sucked. It's just it was too real.
Very advanced.
As you got older, did you ever have any opportunities to go to like an arcade and play like any of the racing games in the arcades, like Outrun or Daytona? Or...
Oh, I played Daytona. Yeah, I played the Daytona. Yeah, those ones with Smiles or whatever.
Oh God, Smiles.
Yeah, I think I played.
Milford Rec, sir. Milford Rec.
Or Milford Rec. It's actually Milford Rec. Yeah. I remember playing that. I remember playing like I probably played. I don't know if I played Need for Speed or any of that, but whatever. But I'd play some racing games. Yeah, I've definitely played some. Oh, and I played what's the one for N64?
Cruising.
Cruising
Yeah, we
Naked.
had Cruising the World, Cruising San Francisco, Cruising USA.
Yeah.
Those are fun games too. And then
slapping the gas pedal like twice to do a wheelie, you know? Yeah. I remember that. Totally.
very cool.
But yeah, so
What else for the PlayStation jumps out?
Obviously, like I said, I was big in basketball. I used to love, I was big into NBA Live games back then. I used to love the soundtracks. I remember I'd sing the songs, because it was always funny because they always made their music, they would take popular songs, like rap songs and things like that, but they would make them tailored to the basketball game. So they would just change a couple lyrics, so it would be like, I forgot what versions I know, but I would sing sometimes, I think, my wife would be like, what? And it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, that's just how the version is, and NBA Live is
So
how
you've
it really
been you've been
goes.
singing the wrong version, basically.
Well, I mean, I knew I was, but I knew, it was just funny because how they actually had, they would take those songs and they, NBA Live would actually, tweak a couple just to make them, fit the game, Yeah, so it was. I can't remember right now, but I'm sure later on I'll be like, I'll text you and be like, oh, I remember this is a song I used to sing all that time.
You'll have.
Yeah, but no, that was my genre. Other Need for Speed was my racing and things like that, and Test Drive 4 I was big into. The Test Drive series I like that too. Driver, remember playing that.
I know you. I know you
game,
and I used
no.
to play Twisted Metal.
Oh, that's right. That's another one. We don't go past 2.
We don't.
I did play 3, but I remember playing 3, but I know it's not really that good.
Yeah, 3 wasn't bad, but I always felt like 2 was the pinnacle of the series.
Oh, 2 is totally. 2 is awesome, and I remember me. I got into the whole I went down the rabbit hole with that when I started doing buying all the stuff. I bought a PSP. I never owned one, and I bought one on eBay just so I can get. What was it? The original creators of Twisted Metal came out with a game
Small
for
Brawl
the PSP.
or something like that?
No, that was one that was out for. That was cool. That one was out for play. There was one for I think that was Small Brawl's PlayStation, but that was also the original creators. Yes, they made that one for the PlayStation, which I picked that one up, and then I
have a copy of it. Give me a second.
Twisted Metal something. Yeah,
let me check the GameStop.
Yep.
Stand by.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This always happens. This is the best thing about Drew's miniature GameStop. He pretty much has almost anything.
Twisted Metal Head On.
Oh yeah.
Twisted Metal Head On.
Oh hey.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So that was good. That was a good game. And you could definitely tell it was they're.
I don't think it was still single track at that point. I think they changed names. Incognito. That's a company that, because Single Track was the ones that they originally developed the first 2 Twisted Metals, and they were also the developers for first couple Jet Moto games, Warhawk, and they had this certain style to their games. And then I don't know what happened. I never really followed the details of the studio, but at some point or another studio started producing those games, and I believe. Was it David Jaff? I think it was. He went on to found Incognito. So.
Yeah, I recognize them. They're
still around.
I say, a lot of recent games I've played. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I definitely, that name
Incognito
definitely sticks out there.
Studios. Let's see. I'm on it again.
On it again.
Yeah, I mean they did Warhawk. They did Twisted Metal Black. They did Small Brawl, War of the Monsters.
Okay, they did Black. Okay.
I guess they went on and formed a new studio called Lightbox Interactive. It's always the funny thing is with these studios, man, they get a couple people that team up and work together, and then they somebody has a disagreement and they split off and they make a new team. And it's half of the original group. And by the time 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon later.
Oh my gosh.
This started on this, and then they were this, but then they went over this and became this.
Basically. It's craziness. It's absolute craziness.
So where does that leave us in the timeline here, Drew?
PlayStation.
We're still on PlayStation, so...
Yeah, because that was a big... I definitely got a lot of game use out of that. Oh, and I recall I invented a system. I invented a ventilation system for the PlayStation because the PlayStation was notoriously known for overheating. So I took a Wheaties box and I cut a hole in the top, and then I cut vents in the sides around the box, and then I would rest the PlayStation on top, and I never had any.
What did you call this ventilation system?
I didn't have a name. I should have trademarked it. I should have patented it, but I didn't. Luckily, I don't think it never really caught on. Nobody ever really invented
the Wheaties box vent.
Yeah, it's funny because I definitely remember it was a Wheaties box, and I remember because I played for like hours. I remember one day, and it just overheated, and then I don't know how I might have read through the grapevine or something like that. That had that issue, or if I just was like, oh, this must be what's happening, and I did that, and I never had. After I know, I never had an issue.
Well, I think it's a reasonable conclusion to come to. If like your system stops working and like you feel it and it's like hot as fuck.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, yeah, how can I fix this? And it's like, you realize the vents are on the way the vents were. It's like, okay, now this makes sense why it's not, it's not cooling.
Right.
There's nothing that you can't get any air because it's sitting on it like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people used to, put these systems on top of like rugs, rather than having them on like a solid surface. So that would affect, impact things as well too.
Oh, yeah.
Silly behavior.
Yeah.
This whole time I've been researching this PSP thing, and the best thing that I could find was that it was, because I was like, I'm going to find this. It was the F1 Championship Edition for PS3. That was the game. And it turns out, from what I've read and seen here, it was removed before the game even came out. So it was being talked about. It was close.
I just never put in.
But they never did it. And that's a shame, because even though it's kind of gimmicky, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Can you?
Quick!
I'm sorry. Can you imagine the contraption that you would need though to like have that above your TV?
Oh no, like clicking on there.
Oh yeah, you need like one of those like Gorilla Pod things.
Totally.
I was gonna do a quick side note and say I just want to point out that my first TV was a 13-inch black and white. That's what I played Nintendo.
Nice.
On. Oof.
Yep.
That's rough.
Yep. Until I got like a 13-inch color with the VHS combo.
Ooh.
Nice. That's when you're really stepping things up.
That is
get the
old
little built-in
school
DVD player.
And I had a hole cut into my wall, and that's where my TV was. It was inside the wall.
What? Why?
To save space. My room was so small. My stepdad, to save space.
You just hulked the fucking wall?
He literally cut a hole in the wall, and I had my system, and my system also was underneath it, like
in a hole in the wall.
But essentially in the closet. It was in the closet because the closet was behind that wall. Yeah. Yep.
That's absurd.
That wall has been since patched now. My sister has that room.
You guys always it just says like Mike was here.
Like, oh my god,
dude! My dresser was on the wall too.
Wow.
There was no because my stepdad took one big room and then built a wall in between for me and my sister when we moved in. So it was our rooms weren't that big, so you couldn't have things like that taking up room. So I had my dresser was on the wall, and so was my TV and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yes.
So he was. That's how Andy rolls.
Yeah. I mean,
checking for studs.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that my black and white TV. I had it for a while. Yep. So I play any like classic game. I played it in black and white.
They probably look great too.
Yeah, Super Mario.
Everybody's been there though. We've all had that 13-inch TV with either the VHS or the DVD player built in, and it's a bedroom TV.
Oh yeah.
Back in 1998, that was the appropriate time to have.
I think my biggest was like to have a. I think you had. If I had a 19-inch, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember getting my grandfather's TV, and it was like up to that point I had like this old black and white TV in my room. And then I got my grandfather's TV. It was a color TV. It was a 13-inch, like I want to say it was a General Electric TV. And every once in a while the screen would like flicker and like shrink down to like half the size. Like imagine like your TV like goes into letterbox mode when it's not supposed to. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the only way to fix it was to hit both sides of the TV at the same.
I was gonna say, would you just
At the same time?
Yeah, like you had to like ear clap it, like
kind of
Donkey Kong the TV.
basically. So I would like be hitting this TV, and all of a sudden my mom would yell at me. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm hitting the TV, Mom."
Yeah.
leave me alone.
I'm escaping letterbox. You wouldn't understand.
It was so funny.
Another Fonzie moment there.
Hey, boom.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boom. Hey. Don't worry, Drew will fix it.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys have antennas at all?
Oh, yeah.
For TV?
Oh yeah. I can't remember that.
Rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears. Yeah.
Yep.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Are rabbit ears like ever really classic though? They were a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, getting up all the time to get that quality of Dawson's Creek to just be a little bit better.
I remember I was excited when I got like one channel, I think, on my black and white TV. I remember I used to like I had like a knob and you just turned it in, and I remember like I was happy to like I got like I think I remember watching the news or something, and it was like very scrambled. But I was like, oh wow, I got cable.
Turn the knob a little bit. Yeah,
Well,
it had like 5 settings.
It was even worse for us too, Will, because like we lived in an area that was like all hills and mountains.
The Seymour?
Yeah, Seymour, and like I grew up in Ansonia, and like it was just like TV signals just didn't get through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was.
You had to put on like a foil hat or something.
Yeah.
Stand on top of the on top of the roof. How's it looking now?
Turn the knob once more.
Move to the left.
Other left.
Yeah.
No, I said no, the other left.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Dude, that was me, man. Me and my sister, we were turning that knob to get that Dawson's Creek reception.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, this is
I can't remember what was going on, what was popular, but I remember watching a show. I remember watching something like I remember it was something like that, or whatever was relevant at that time. I remember there was a show and I was so excited. I was just happy because I was like watching TV in my room.
In the wall.
I was like, ooh, yeah, in the wall.
The hole in the wall TV.
In the wall, yeah.
All right, so let's.
So we're back up to now. We'd be in Dreamcast.
All right, so this is
because once again I abandoned ship.
Yeah, you're like
I didn't get a PlayStation
You're
2.
a flopper. You're a flip flopper. So this is like right around the time I think I met you. Like was shortly before the Dreamcast or shortly after the Dreamcast.
Yes. Yep, because we remember being late to band practice because I had to find a save point in Shenmue. Tell
Will about this story, please. This is one of my favorites.
I was obsessed with Shenmue. I love that game. I'd play hours and hours and hours. And so one day we had band practice, and I'm playing, and they get to pick me up, and in that game, you had to get to a safe point. You had to, if you didn't get there, you'd lose all your, progress. So I literally had them waiting outside so that I could get to the save point, which I don't remember how long it was, but it might have been a little while.
But if I'm not mistaken,
like
if I'm not mistaken, like after about 10 minutes, you actually came outside and told us what was going on.
Yeah, maybe it might have been like, it might have even been like, hey, I was saying, like, it might have been like literally me playing, knowing you guys were probably there, and I'm just like, I have to get to the save point.
Yeah, because like
why does he look so concerned?
I think like we all piled into the car, like we all like made a road trip to get to your house to like, pick you up. I think it was like
it wasn't just like one.
It was like all of us. Because back then like band practice was like 50% band practice, 50% hanging out. Or probably even more like 25% practice and 75% hanging out. Because we're in high school and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, that I do remember. Like, that's one moment. I mean, that's obviously a moment we always talk about. So, like, Shenmue's always been a big thing to me.
Yeah.
Until Shenmue 2 came out, then I totally I didn't get on the bandwagon. Although I hear don't they have the collection?
Yeah,
now?
You can get 1 and 2
on PlayStation,
and I think 3 is available as well too. One of the guys in our Discord room, Joe, is in the middle of playing. I'm not sure if he's on Shenmue 1 or Shenmue 2 right now. I'm too lazy to go look, but
I think it's 2.
That's how much it is. I might have to get that because like I'm just talking about it with you guys. Actually, like it makes me like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna play that. I want to see if I can still play it because that game's another tricky one because visually I struggle at games that have the buttons on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when it tells you like hit A, hit, you know, C, like that's why the wrestling games I struggle too sometimes because if I'm not knowing where that button's going to pop up on the screen, I don't see it. So those are the trickiest games for me. So I would picture if I'm trying to play that game and I have to hit, you know, X before someone falls and I don't know where I didn't know that was the button because I didn't see it, it's over. Now I have to guess that part over again. So, and that one, remember they used to have a lot of those sequences in that game where you'd have to press this to get through that section. And if not, you had to start back over and do it again. Right. So I'd love to try that now because just to see if I could still play that game.
Oh, dude, we should totally have you play it, and then Drew and I will try and pick you up.
Yeah, like no.
See him come out looking all.
I wonder if it's still like. I wonder if they actually if they made it so you could save.
Well, I mean, you could just put the PlayStation.
They actually just are they actually like still made the game the same way? Is it like? Do you still have to get to a save point?
I don't know, but I mean, the difference nowadays is at least you could just put your system in a standby.
Yeah, right. Yes, I don't have to actually. It doesn't. I could just put it in rest mode, and actually, it's still the game's still there.
Right.
Yep. That's true.
Oh, he's coming out without the guitar again. Fuck. Damn it! It's gonna be another 30 minutes. Jesus.
Like I'm almost there, guys. Like. And it was like, what? I don't even think I had we didn't have cell phones. I don't think I had it. Like, I was like, no. It wasn't like I could shoot you a text and be like, you know, I'm almost done. I'm just trying to get to a save point or something. It's like,
like I probably called you from my house phone to your house phone before I left.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? And I don't remember if I did or not, but that would have been like. That would have been your best case.
Yeah.
He came out with the 3D Doritos dust on his t-shirt, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, is that a 3D Dorito?
That was so good. I love that. No, but that system was good. I should have never sold that system to Funko-Land.
Oh God.
How much did
nothing. Would they give you like a potato chip?
Yeah. I was so pissed off because I'm like, I could have kept it. I'm like, I don't know why I even accepted it. I don't even know why I accepted it.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Garbage.
Yeah, they give you that like menu of like prices.
Oh, so
there's a little menu. Like when I did that for my Super Nintendo, it was like one of those little jukeboxes that you see in a diner.
Yep.
And it was like that kind of thing. And they were just like, yeah, you got to look at that and you'll be able to figure it out that way. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks.
All right. I should have never known. I was like, nope. That's one of my big regrets because I like that system. That was my first online gaming experience. I had like this. I remember I had this off-road game, and I used to play that online. I don't remember. Once again, don't remember what it's called, but I just remember it was cool, like kind of off-road, you know, like dirt kind of game. You know, it was really cool. Not motorcycles though. It was like, you know,
it was like 4x4s.
Yeah, I think it was like 4x4s. I think. And I remember I loved that game. That was cool. And I remember I used to be able, you know, had a chat feature and stuff, and you know, and so that was like my first kind of, you know, interaction with. Online. Oh, that, and I think I actually had the web browser.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be able to go like actually online, you know, and I've met people that like I know today because of that system.
Really?
Because that would be like a Yahoo chat. So I used to be like, and I met my friend I met Mel and this girl Melanie, who then I ended up meeting her friend Michelle, who I'm still friends with to this day.
Wow.
And her kids all love me and stuff like that. So
that's like, awesome.
So I would have never had that interaction if it was not for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like, you know, thinking like with video game consoles back then, bringing, you know, two people together like that, like that's kind of rare at that time.
Yep. I used to do that, and I used to keep an eye on Michael Jordan's return to the NBA on my Dreamcast. Used to go on this website, and it would give me day by day, you know, what he was doing and stuff like that. So those are the things I remember most of that time period. Yeah. Besides Shenmue. But
MichaelJordanUpdates.com.
Yeah, get my updates, and I would and I was on that. I was on Yahoo Chat, and I was chatting on Yahoo.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
so
totally.
did you have the keyboard too and everything?
I think that's what I had. I think I must have had like the thing. Yeah, because I think they had the lot. Yeah, yep.
Did you ever play Phantasy Star Online?
No. So I was never big into those games.
Right.
But yeah,
I know that was a big keyboard.
We missed
game.
a classic. We missed a classic for PlayStation. We missed FF7. Speaking of the whole remake, so
oh jeez, how did we miss that?
And FF7, yeah, that was the first that was when I saw that on the demo, I was like. That got me into RPGs. That got me to RPGs. Like I don't play them a lot, but that was definitely one of the ones I was like, oh, RPGs are pretty cool.
That's detour worthy. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
I remember. I mean, most of it was like I know my friend Randy played it a lot, so he'd go over there. I mean, I don't remember. I don't think I ever really. I honestly don't remember if I actually owned the game or had the game, or I used to play it over people's houses. I only had the demo. And I just can't remember if I would just play it over other people's houses, and because I remember seeing Bahamut Zero or whatever, one of the spells, and I thought it was like insane with the dragon coming down and all of that.
Yep.
Which I still want to see if they remastered that, just to see what that looks like, in that kind of graphics now.
Right.
Sure. It's got to look insane. Cause, I can't remember if I saw FF7 more recently and if the graphics held up from then, but I was blown away by that game. I remember back then that was incredible.
I think most people.
It's safe to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was.
Yeah, I remember that was a big one. I remember how far you got in the demo. I don't remember what the demo gave you. I can't remember. But obviously, it wasn't much of the game, but
yeah, I don't remember either. I never had an opportunity to play the demo. I had a friend, Ian, who had a full copy of the game, and I remember watching him play it. And
right.
That's how I fell in love with it, and ended up buying my own copy eventually.
I'm trying to remember if I ever had a copy, because I just remember going over other people's houses who had it and playing it, but I don't remember if I ever actually owned a copy, because I don't remember going. But then again, I think I do, because I do remember playing it now at my house, and I remember going through a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm remembering another game now. What was the game where you could pop in other CDs and it would create monsters?
Oh,
from the game, like depending on what it would be able to come up with a monster from if you got like a music CD or something, and then a monster would be on it. You can find out what monster's on the CD or something.
Huh?
What was it called?
I'm not aware of this.
It was awesome. I loved it. It was really cool. I can't remember the whole premise of the game, but that's what you would do. You would literally take that CD out. You'd pop it as you're playing the game. You would take the game CD out, and then you would put in whatever, some music CD, whatever it was, and there would be some kind of monster on that CD. It would generate whatever it was on, based on
Monster. Was it Monster Rancher?
Yeah, I think that must have been it. I like that game. That was cool. I for some reason, it just popped in my head because that was one of the games that I really played a lot of.
Yeah, basically, it used a random number generator to define what characteristics the monster would have. It would read the CD, use the disc to generate random number seeds, and then just come up with a variety of random monsters.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Like for that time, I would say for that time period, that was very,
Well, I guess, just this is all from Wikipedia, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Rancher 4 was on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, wow.
And if you put in Will's favorite game, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh my word! How dare you!
It would generate a specific monster based on that.
Oh wow!
Or if you put in one of the Dead or Alive games, it would generate a specific monster based on that. So it would do, certain things would trigger certain specifics, but otherwise it was completely random.
Right. Yep.
So,
nope. I remember that game a lot.
Very cool. Very cool. So Dreamcast, we talked about Shenmue. We talked about your racing game. Anything else stand out to you about that?
I played Sonic. I think I beat. If I didn't beat it, I got to the end. I can't remember if I beat it, but I think I did beat that game.
Okay.
The Sonic whatever it was. What was that one?
Sonic Adventure.
Adventure, right? Yeah. I thought that was awesome. That was really cool. That was once again it was one of those. Almost felt like an N64 playing Mario 64 for the first time, where you're like, wow, I could travel anywhere. Like instead of I'm so used to playing Sonic, side scrolling.
Yep.
So it was really cool. You'd be like, oh my god, this is wild.
Yeah.
I could just go.
That was a pretty special game when that came out. Just I remember the colors and the speed of it and everything. It's like holy crap.
Yeah, it was just really nice. I was just like, this is nice. And of course, I had a basketball game. I think it was still I had I forgot what the name of the game. I'd like to play that again too. They had a good basketball game. Obviously not NBA Live or anything. It was something.
Maybe 2K. It must have been one of the 2K games because the Dreamcast had some really good sports games.
Because they finally had fingers. Players finally started having fingers. That was the first system I remember that. Because it was like PlayStation, it was all like, they had a hoof.
Yeah.
They didn't have to actually have a hand. Yeah, if you actually pay attention, like a little, like a hoof.
A little hoof.
Yeah. And I remember finally, like, that was the first game, for the basketball game I played, where I was like, oh my God, like, the players look more like, real, and like, and it looks like they actually have, like, fingers to grab the ball now. And it would
have to be NBA 2K, probably. They made 2K1 and 2K2 as well.
Okay. Yep.
Those games, they had NBA and then they had NFL 2K, I believe as well too. Those were really well done sports games for the time.
Yeah, I remember being very everything was really nice. Like everything, everyone looked like for that time period. Like it was definitely a step up.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't as cheesy. Like and you're like, oh my God, like this, like they look like players. Like I played that on a lot. Yeah, I played that game a lot. So I've definitely missed my Dreamcast now. I need to get a Dreamcast, guys.
Dreamcast is a great system, man. I love mine.
I need to.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going over Drew's house once this is over. So we can play
as long as you stand 6 feet away from me.
Yeah, 6 feet away.
I always remember the fans looking pretty awful in sports.
Oh no, yeah, that was always the best because they can never get that right.
Basically.
Yo, essentially, yes, yep. I never got so excited until I think I forgot what maybe in like even like PS3 or so. Maybe that might have been finally where they had like you're looking around, you're like, oh my God, there's fans. And they're moving.
And variety, too.
And they're like I remember playing a baseball game, or playing MLB, like the show, and like they'll catch the foul ball. Like they'll move it. Like, oh my God, like this is the greatest thing ever. And then you realize like that's what's more important sometimes in games now, like the details.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've already played baseball. We've already played, basketball. We get this. The only way to step up the realism is we need, the fans, I wish the fans were better in like, the wrestling games. That's another thing.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're terrible.
They're still terrible.
So terrible. Bad.
And we all know now that we've seen wrestling without fans, we realize how important the crowds really are.
Yeah.
When you're watching wrestling, so they need a game like that steps up that really kind of makes that more interactive like that.
Will is a huge wrestling fan, so I probably don't need to fill him in, but I guess I will anyway.
Dude, I'm a fan of the drama, man.
Well, so right now, because of COVID, like, there's no fans in attendance for anything, right? And pro wrestling has been running in empty arenas because they're just like, well, we still need to produce content.
Yeah, they're down to the PCI Performance Center. Yeah, they're doing shows at the Performance Center.
So it is ridiculous.
I had a buddy once that actually had a toothpick from Razor Ramon.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, incredible story.
Maybe we can clone him now.
He had it in a shot glass. It was like 1992. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and it might have been 93. And I remember he was a big wrestling fan, and he had this little shot glass with a toothpick. And I was like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, I got it from Razor Ramon."
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Of course, I played
too much mousse in his hair.
I will say we did skip one thing, even though I did not own an N64. I will mention quickly one of my fondest memories of that system were also 2 games. I went over to my friend EJ's house, and we'd always play the classic GoldenEye, or I think it was WCW Nitro, might have been the one that we played.
Okay.
And I thought that was a great game. That was a great wrestling game.
Yeah, those are good. Those classic wrestling games on the N64, man, those are special.
Those are good.
Even the bad ones are good.
Yeah. So I would say definitely that was, like I said, even I didn't own one, I would say that was, to me, I did have some classic N64 moments. Because, I had friends that had this system, so I got some interaction with it. It was literally, But yeah, I love that. Those 2 games were definitely well played, but no, the wrestling was awesome.
Yeah.
And I did own some, wrestling games in the past too, but
And I still have a fondness for those older wrestling games compared to the new ones. Like I've tried a couple of the more recent, WWE games, and it's just not it's just not the same.
You played the Nintendo versions?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Jesus,
I love all the 8-bit like intros.
Oh man, yeah, I mean those are they have a special place in my heart too. But I mean like No Mercy, Day of Reckoning, those games, man, those were just awesome.
Warzone?
Warzone, even on the PS1.
Yeah.
That was fun. I remember having a bunch of people over for that. I don't know if you were. I don't know if I knew you yet at that point, but like I remember having like a sleepover at my house, and like everybody made a Warzone character, and we all like duked it out.
No, that'd be awesome.
That sounds like so much fun.
That would be a lot of fun. I'd be like, I wish I was around for that.
We did like a tournament, so like we set up brackets and everything, and like everybody like made themselves. And the character creation in those games was pretty basic, like you made your character like what you wanted it to look like, and then you picked some attacks, and it wasn't like this detailed process. Now, if you create a character, like you create every little detail, and it's almost overwhelming. It's crazy.
Oh, it is. It's too much. I don't bother sometimes. Like in the wrestling games, I don't even bother. It's just too much.
Yeah, like I mean, I appreciate having that level of control, but
yeah,
it's just
no.
It's crosses the line.
Yeah, no, it's like you can literally probably spend like weeks, perfecting your character, making it look exactly like you, and be like, oh my god, like I just give me a camera, just scan my face already, and just like
they can do that too.
Yeah, that's right, the PlayStation game, right? Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, I'd rather just like let me just do this, like. Oh, quick! It reminded me saying the whole creating a player and we used to do that with in the PlayStation. We used to do it with the NBA Live games. That was always the fun thing too, creating ourselves. Bill looked exactly like him. Like,
okay.
It was hilarious. And my friend EJ would always go the route of, I'm going to create the biggest and fattest, biggest guy, like, and he'd make him like 00. That would be his number. Like, he'd just block everything. He'd just be like, he just massive thing. We used to put no rules on, so he just push the person, steal the ball, and then go just go and dunk it or whatever. Like, we just like...
That's hilarious.
It was worth it. We had some fun with that one. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
That was when Creative Player was fun.
Yeah.
Just enough, where it was like, it was cool. They made facial expressions. The characters had like, you can give them facial expressions, not too much, you know, but like, it was fun. Like, then it got to the point where you're just like, okay, yeah, there's like 5 billion things I can do. I can change the angle of my eyebrow, like by like 300 degrees or whatever, I can put sweat, or muscles. I can put like veins in my head.
18 variations of an eye tattoo.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's just like I can't do this.
Yeah, it's just too much. And then like not only that too, but because like you have so many different moves, you have so many different buttons at your disposal, so everything is mapped to a different move. So like up and X, up and Y, up and A, up and B, those are all separate moves. And then it's like upright X, upright A, upright Y. It's like, come on, like. It's too much. It's just too much.
Yep. Sometimes I'll end up doing the same basic moves sometimes over and over because I'm like, I don't know what that, like, I don't know what the hell I do.
It's like, it's nice that they give people the option, but they should also give the people the option to like do something like as bare bones basic as they can.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
I will say that Creative Player brought me back, got me totally into creating, like when they had Ultimate Warrior back in there and stuff like that, it totally got me like creating players again. I had not like been so much into creating a player until that moment, like being actually having all the face paints and having all the tassels, having all the different, like I was like, this is awesome. Like, now this is cool. Like, this is what I would have this is what I would have wanted like back in the day when I was playing like PlayStation 1 or play whatever, and having this ability to do some of this stuff. But yeah, no, that I say they nailed.
Yeah, but they man, it's just, you got to find like a happy medium, I think,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now I just take the template. I just start where like, give me somewhere general in this and be like, okay, I'll tweak a couple things.
Yeah, you just tweak it, right? You just fix up a little thing here, a little thing there.
Just make myself look a little different. I guess like, okay, blonde hair. Okay, here we go. Okay, change eye color. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Done.
I feel like in my past, like with any kind of character creation menu system for any game, I feel like I've spent like at least an hour or two doing that, and I count that as like game time. I played something.
Yeah,
What did you do
But
today?
I don't tell people what I did.
Yeah, I was creating my game. Oh, well, what'd you do after that? That's
Still doing
that's
it.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
How's the game?
Yeah, looks
I haven't
just like
played it yet. I'm still working on my character.
Yeah, still working on it.
Did you like buy the game last week? Oh, yeah, I've been.
And then you put a fucking helmet on the character.
Oh, some of the stuff you're like, why did I even go to the lengths to do this? Like,
Right.
they're wearing clothes. Like, you know, I don't care what their quad looks like. My character wears pants. Like,
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I have this sweet calf tattoo that nobody will ever see.
Yeah, got chainmail on.
Yeah, like, oh my god. I mean, I wish you had the ability to like edit, like, because like I feel like they needed more, like the like like the crowd signs and stuff. They should make it so you can make your own, or like have
some of them. I think they have.
Can you do that? Like I can't remember really that feature because I was like, I noticed like some of the newer Need for Speed games, you had more. There was more, like for racing anyway. For those that it was more freedom to do like decals and do a little more. That's where I would want that more ability. Whereas like I don't really care to have that much stuff going on for creating my player. I would like to have a little more freedom with the other stuff. You know,
right.
Maybe in creating garments like or stuff, but you can't do that. Like it's all you can kind of put decals and stickers and throw some stuff together to make it look like something, but it's it's more cookie cutter.
Right. I don't know, man. I don't know. They gotta shake it up somehow.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and if you go to the download characters, that's actually hilarious.
What's that?
WWE has people can create characters and you can share them. So you go there and you can download them, and people have gone to the lengths and created Spider-Man. There's the Flash, all this. They create actual 80s version Hulk Hogan.
All right.
They'll actually, and they look pretty good. But they're using pre-existing stuff the system has, but somehow they're pulling it off.
Talk about great lengths. Some people go really far with that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's pretty amazing. It's like those people that take a box of Legos and build a Razor Ramon out of it.
Mm-hmm. How'd you do that? And you just think there's no instructions for that.
I know.
There's
there's
nothing they can look up and say, how do I create Spider-Man in a WWE game? They somehow, how did you figure this out?
Yeah, my brain just doesn't work on that wavelength.
No.
Same.
No.
Yeah, but I admire it. How
And
do you not admire
long
that?
time.
Oh yeah.
These people took hours and hours to create this one character.
Right.
It's like Will was saying, that's just spending 2 hours just creating his own character. These people this is what they do. This is what they're doing.
Right. So what?
Yeah, and then they'll just nonchalantly say this took me 4 months, but here it is. 4 months.
I wish I had more time on it, but I had to take. I only had 4 months, so
I only had 4 months to make this awesome character.
I'm sorry. I usually take a year, but this is it. I had to rush it.
Oh God.
It's sad.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. So, we're running a little bit low on time, but I do want to kind of get into the more recent stuff from here. Okay. So after Dreamcast, you go to PlayStation again?
Yeah, I went back. No, I went back. I went again. I jumped ship again.
Where'd you go?
Xbox.
You did go to Xbox. Okay.
I got the original. I had the original Xbox. That was I bought that with my own money.
Very nice.
And a TV. I bought the Xbox and I bought a 19-inch TV because I had a 1 week where I worked double or 12-hour shifts. Oof. It was actually I worked 12-hour shifts for the whole week and had a really good paycheck. So I got the Xbox and I bought a TV. And that
Very
was
nice.
I remember that. I loved that system.
Any particular games jump out at you from that one?
Need for Speed Underground.
Yep.
Yeah, I can still picture in my mind him humming "Riders on the Storm" because that was one of the songs that was in. I think it was maybe Underground 2 actually.
Okay.
remember I was the Doors Underground. That was one of the main tracks. Riders on the Storm.
Right.
But I'm trying to think what other games I played for that system that I really liked, and because I remember the system moved so many places. It was at my parents' house, and then when I was going out with like one of my girlfriends, I moved it over to her house, and I played it over there. And I don't remember like what games though. I remember like that I had. That's what sucks because I loved that system because I thought it was just like so, I don't know. It had that. It's just this big black box, but it had.
It's huge.
But it was its style. I don't know why. Yeah, so that was but I do remember, Need for Speed obviously was definitely the continuation of all that, and I think I was obviously playing, what's that volleyball game? Because that wasn't 360, I think that was with the original, that was,
the only volleyball game that, Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive, thank you.
Yeah.
That was the only volleyball game I could think of. I'm like, I don't want to be like a pervert, but was it?
Because that game was cool because I remember you can also put your own music on it.
Yeah,
like you can.
That's cool.
If you put music on your Xbox and you can play, or you can have that in your background. So I used to have my own.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, that was fun. Yep. So that totally. The guy in me would remember that game very fondly. Yeah, I think really. It's an interesting game. Yeah. I may have
scantily.
Yeah, hoping for things to happen during the game, but maybe they did not.
I think we all did at that age.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and it was Tomb Raider for me. Trying to actually scroll around and try to get to see the polygon, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to, zoom in on her. Like, where you had that mode where you were able to kind of zoom in on her. And yeah.
Yep.
So, so that was probably the first game where I was like, oh, this, ooh. That's funny.
Hey, we've all done it. We've all been there.
We've been there.
Oh, God.
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
Well, it's safe right now, but you may be subject to ridicule once this goes public.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I can't vouch for anything that happens in our Discord room.
Either you're
going to get a lot of people like making fun of you, or you're going to get a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I did that too."
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. Like every time we have a new episode release, it's like dropping it into a Shark Tank.
Yeah,
and then Drew and I are just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah. What are we going to get reamed for today?
Yeah.
Will got yelled at this morning, in fact.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I saw the episode discussion thing light up, and I was like, all right, here we go. And I went in, and I say that almost like out loud almost every time. I'm like, all right, here it is. And I go in, and I was like, I was a little taken back by it. I was like, oh, shit, is he actually mad? And then I read it like a couple of times, and I was like, damn, he's just like wildly envious that I have gamers that I work with.
Yeah.
Wow. Things you got to worry about.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, all I saw was like, fuck and fuck you. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, what did I say?
Wow, calm down.
Yeah, so Mike, your podcast community is probably way more.
Oh no, it's totally like way more uplifted. Yeah, that is not something I have to worry about. I could never see that happening. No.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't imagine why someone would even. I mean, even in this world, like why was people get so? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, this is all in jest. Like these guys are
of course,
with us. But I mean,
like,
there's some communities that are actually
more
pretty toxic. We're very fortunate that we have a pretty cool community. So
I mean, I think I do worry about sometimes in my world where like I might like say something on my podcast that might be like someone might take the wrong way, but I mean, I try to be like as clear as possible. Yeah,
it's always tricky.
Yeah, totally.
So I kind of got to put things on fast forward a little bit, but I do want to before we get to the lightning round with you. I do just want to briefly touch on your 3DO.
My wonderful eBay purchase.
Yeah. So when did you buy a 3DO? It was way past its original.
Oh yeah. It was when I met my wife. It was just having I think I got into like doing that like 2000 and might have been 2008 when I bought that.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep. And I remember I essentially got it for free because the guy had an issue. He had a dispute, I think, with PayPal. Or something happened, and so I don't know if it never went through. Something happened, and basically he wasn't going to get the money or something. I don't know what it was, but we were cool. Like we had been messaging each other actually directly.
Yeah.
And he's like, He's like, I don't know, I'm having this issue with PayPal. He's like, dude, don't worry. He's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Enjoy the system. Basically, and
Wow.
he was cool with it. So I forgot
That's
what the whole
awesome.
issue was, but yeah, he was a really nice guy, and because I was like, I want to pay for it. Yeah, I want, but I forgot what the whole situation. But yeah, essentially it was like, and it was 50. It would have been like $50 or something like that.
Right.
But of course, now I have recently sold it. I made some money on it. Yeah, because I was smart, kept it long. When it finally went back up.
Still breaks my heart.
$50 like to get what I got, and then I went on a spree of finding as many games as I could for it that were reasonably priced, and at that time they weren't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the wonderful Blonde Justice.
Oh God,
the greatest movie. Game. Oh, what was it? What was it? A cinematic game? What do they call it?
Yeah. It was like a FMV game.
Because they say it's a game, but it's not. It's yeah.
Was that the Pam Anderson thing?
It was kind of on that level, but it was like, there was nudity, and what was it? As Drew would, when I introduced this to Drew, he would sum it up like this: boob, gun, boob, gun, boob. That was it. That was pretty much Blonde Justice.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's pretty much the movie. It was really cheesy, like with 90s. A woman who's like a cop or something, and some case. I don't even remember the story. It was so bad. But it's actually very rare, apparently. So
is it?
Yeah, it went up to be like worth money. That's why that Blonde. It's worth money. It was worth a decent amount of money.
I was not aware of that.
I got it cheap, but it's actually rare. So I think the timing when I bought that stuff was all like before everyone else was doing it.
Mm.
So I struck out, getting like my PlayStation and getting like a couple of things. I got like, it was before where the eBay thing went really crazy with that stuff. Like
right.
Years later, it was like you could get a PlayStation for like $20 or $30, whatever it was. I forgot how much I paid for it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But like I said, getting the 3DO for like $50, and it was in great shape, And then I got the wireless controllers for it, and I got only thing I couldn't get was really difficult was the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I think I only seen one time. I think I saw a gun. It was like $200.
I didn't realize they made one.
What is that? No, never seen that. Oh, for PlayStation, she made something.
I don't remember that one.
No, I do not remember that either.
I knew there was something.
No, but
had to find out.
Definitely look like Will. You should definitely look into look YouTube Blonde Justice, and you'll
I just sent over a link to like a list of all these different Vivid interactive games, and some of them are really risque.
Oh, I'm sure that, like I said, for that time, it must have been really, it must have been really interesting. So.
I mean, we're talking like basically softcore porn at this point.
Oh, definitely.
3DO
94
porn.
or whatever. Yeah, 1994. It was. But no, I love that. I think that was the best game I had was with Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition.
Yeah, and that was
they said that was like the
version.
closest. That was the closest to arcade that you could get.
Yep, it was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
And the other great game was Way of the Warrior.
Oh God,
the Mortal Kombat ripoff.
Oh jeez!
Like it looked like they filmed it in a guy's apartment. like they did all like this, like how they did the CG, all that stuff, like all the whatever they had to do to make the characters. Like they just did it in some dude's apartment and just threw the game together and put a White Zombie on there.
Oh man. Oh, that's crazy.
I heard such good things about it, and I'm like so excited to play it. And then I was like, oh my God.
And it just loops like the same three White Zombie songs over and over again.
Yep.
It's terrible. It was so bad.
It was really bad. I like Demolition Man was good. That was a really good game. Yeah, it was. But it would have been better with the gun. If I had the gun and I had Crime Patrol, that was another one that would have been awesome with the gun.
Okay.
So like, I just didn't want. I did not want to spend $200 on something that really I was only going to use for like 2 games.
I really don't blame you.
And like I said, I only saw it that one time. I've never seen that gun since. Like I only seen the ad come up one time for it, and I was just like, no, I can't do it. Can't justify that purchase.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm sure there's probably like some kind of a third party thing nowadays, though, like the way that market is working.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, that was a No, I like that system. I had it for up until, like I said, when I just sold it a few months back.
Yeah.
And it was, it's always been good. I've never had any problems with it.
Yep.
And
yeah, we had some fun nights on that.
Yeah, that was good. So, no, I funny is, like I said, there was games I hadn't even played yet.
Right.
Because I had so many games for it. I just never really went through everything for it. But
right.
No, yeah. I had the original Need for Speed too on that too.
That's right.
Yep. Because they released it for both. I think that was not as good. It wasn't as good as the Sony one. It wasn't as good as the Sony one. It wasn't as good.
Okay. What about Road Rash? I remember you had Road Rash.
That was good. Yes, too. That was really good. Yep,
yeah.
That one was
really that PS1 only?
Road Rash?
Yeah.
No. They made that on almost every system. You could buy that on like the Genesis.
Huh. That's right. Yes, I remember. I think I had it. I think I played that. On Genesis. Yeah.
Swatting people with chains and stuff, right?
That was an Electronic Arts game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So they just pumped that thing out for anything that they could.
No, that was good. But for the most part, yeah. And it had this basketball game I had for it. I forgot what it was called, but that was it. I would say it was different. I remember it being like, I liked it because it had different camera angles than for that time period, that the side scroller or whatever it had. It was definitely innovative, I think.
Okay.
So it's just too bad it got was overpriced and
right. I mean, everything about that system was just kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
There's I've seen some documentaries on the rise and fall of it that are worth watching. If I can remember which one it was.
I'll check that out.
This is fascinating.
So,
Mike, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am ready, sir.
Will, do you want to give him a rundown how this works, or?
Yeah, of course. So the way that we do this, Mike, is, first of all, we love doing this. It's a lot of fun. And we're going to go through a bunch of different, they're not really questions. They're more of just like choices that you have to make. And you want to make it in sort of like a split second. So we kind of give you like maybe about 5 seconds tops per question, per se.
All right.
So we're going to just kind of shout off a couple things, and then you're just going to answer
first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, first things that come to mind. Exactly. So, Drew, do you want me to start?
Sure.
Drew?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
What the hell happened? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, so you ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Here we go. All right, so Nintendo or Sega?
Nintendo.
Sony or Microsoft?
Sony.
PC or console?
Console.
Console or handheld?
Console.
Mario or Sonic?
Mario.
Best Need for Speed?
It's the third one.
Need for Speed 3?
Yeah, I think it was the third one. I forgot what it's called.
I don't know if they have like a subtitle.
There was a subtitle, I think. But yeah, Need for
Okay.
this one.
Okay.
Best Twisted Metal?
2.
Best wrestling game?
I'm going Nitro. WCW Nitro.
Worst wrestling game?
Probably like the last WDGR.
Best 3DO game?
Oh, the Street Fighter 2.
All right.
Worst 3DO game?
Oh, it was like we popped in. It was a tank one or something. It was some kind of one, or Warzone or something. It was called something. There was something. I remember. I can't remember the name, but it was something with a tank.
I'll have to look that up. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, or something. I remember. I didn't play it, but Duff did.
Okay. 3-button or 6-button Genesis controller?
I'm going 3-button.
Best controller?
PlayStation.
Worst controller?
The N64.
Arcade racers or sim racers?
So tough. I'm going to go sim, though. Sim racing.
Okay. Hardest game?
Oh, hardest game. Geez. I'll go Shenmue.
Easiest game?
Probably like Pac-Man.
Let's see here. I'm making a quick edit to the order here. Well, sorry about that.
Sure.
A system that you wish you had but didn't.
Probably a PlayStation 2.
Okay.
A system that you had and wish you didn't.
She said, I have no
Is that the same thing?
No, it's the inverse.
Ah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably a Sega CD.
First console.
Atari 2600.
Okay.
Best console.
Oh man, that's it. I'm gonna say PlayStation.
Worst console.
Probably. That's so tough. Xbox.
Really?
I don't know. I'm blanking. I'm just throwing names out because I don't really have a worst. But
well, you said it. You can't take it back.
I'm sorry.
Xbox sucks, Mike. According to you.
That's our headline. Mike Tubiak says Xbox sucks.
Oh my god, you want to talk about a Shark Tank?
Sega CD. Sega CD. That's my answer.
Mike, I mean, you and I have spent hours chatting over the years, and I feel like we could spend another few hours chatting tonight.
We have no problem with that.
But I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna have to cut this short, unfortunately.
4:30? What are you getting up early for?
I have to be at work at 7.
I'm sorry, just the way that Mike said 4:30,
that's like
so
okay,
concerned.
okay, we're right. I mean, I'm used to getting up early, but no, that's like an absurd hour. Right?
Yeah, it's I don't know, but anyway.
And I have a kid, man. And it's like no 4:30. No.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you about gaming with Evan too. We just ran out of time, so we'll have to save that for another time.
There's always a future day. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Can you just give us one more plug for your podcast and anything else you got going on?
Yes, you can find my podcast "Living Free" with RP. That's it's available on most sources. Spotify and all that. Apple.
You can get it on iTunes too, right? Or
iTunes,
Apple Podcasts,
Spotify,
whatever they call it.
a couple other places too. It's on Anchor, obviously.
Very cool. It's a good show. Thank
you.
You have some really good interviews with people from the RP community.
I learned from somebody on your show.
Will.
Somebody gave me some good advice, and I've been taking his notes.
Thank you.
This is all new to me.
Well, I recommend it. Everybody check it out. I think it's definitely worth listening to. And so check us out on the web at WDGRpodcast.com. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WDGRPodcast. You can find Will at
Will_gear.
And you can find me at Storm. And Mike, do you have any social media that you...
Yes, if anybody fitness gurus out there, you can find me at TubiakManiak on Instagram. That's usually that. So, I mean, I'm big into, fitness outside of gaming.
If you like to see, muscles and, angry faces...
I checked it out, and it's totally like a tribute to Frank Duke's training in his prime, which is a huge compliment.
No, I love it. No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
love it.
That's an accurate description.
Yeah, it's just a reel of this training montage that I would never be able to do myself, but I would be like, oh, dude, look at Van Damme. Mike is so Van Damme.
I love it.
Mike, thank you so much for taking a couple hours of your evening out and chatting with us. I had a lot of fun, man.
I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, man,
I look forward to doing it again. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Hopefully next time we can actually do it in person.
That'd be more fun. Possibly more dangerous, but more fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was always my hope for this interview, and it's one of the reasons why we kind of held off as long as we did between my schedule and then, this coronavirus stuff. But
so part 2's in person. End of story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
Locked it in.
So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Good day.